And here's our boardwalk. This needs to get, we have a big pile of wood chips. And the intent is to reset these planks and these flats in here with some wood chips to better raise them up, stabilize them. Some of these are. This one's still pretty good. Yes, that pile of wood chips was going to be used to help fix up this part of the boardwalk. Okay, so since we got quite a bit of water and it's flowing, you can see low spots. The issue is somehow we need to connect this ramp of the Swail bridge up to where we have the boardwalk coming. So what we'd like to do is bring that over so it can come down here. So I don't know how good you can see this in the video, but right through here is kind of like a low spot, and that's where the water runs and tries to go underneath here. So I think what we need to do is we need to make an opening here, elevated a bit so the water can run underneath. I think we need to clear this out, not by much, but at least back through here, and then that would give it a channel, maybe like a 1.5 foot, 2 foot wide swale. And then what we can do is we can put planks on top so the water will go underneath in that swale. The planks will give us our armoring, because it's just flat and muddy, up to here. So now over here is wet, and what it looks like is there's water coming from the left here, and it wants to go down into this part here. So I think what we're going to do is, maybe what we'll do is over here we will create a small shell swale on this side into the big swale, and then that way the water will not want to run that way. We can fill it in and we can put our planks. If we're just to put our planks down, then that will impede the flow of water, backing it up over here, making a mess. So we want to put our planks past that tree in this fashion, and we need to move this source of flow of water, divert it down this way. So I think that gets us to where the tree is. Now you can see we probably need to make a slight swale through here to collect that water and bring it all the way down. Yep, that would work. But let's go over here and look. So this section in here and over in here is wet, but I think we got water coming this way. So if we were to put flats, we're going to stop the flow of water, which is going to back up, which won't be good. So somehow we're going to need to make a pathway for water to be able to flow to this main part, which will then have a swale down. And the same thing with over in this section. It looks like somehow the water needs to flow this way. So you can't just put a plank down because that'll block the flow. So somehow there has to be a channel underneath. And I'm not quite sure how to do that. So this middle part where I put that stick there, because it's kind of hard to see in the sunlight looking in the viewfinder, because I put that stick there. So maybe what we need to do is make something that has like 2 foot long planks this way on a couple of cross pieces, not very high, like a a 1x6 laden flat, put some planks on top, and the water can flow underneath, and we would be able to go over the top. And this middle section here can be just just flats. And as we get over here, same thing in this section here. This looks like it has water flowing from this way, so we'll have to do something this way so a channel can go underneath and allow us then to finish the flats up to that side. Interesting. Alright, so those flats, you can see, that's the flats about 2 foot long and it's about 2 inches thick. So if we were to use a 1x6, a 1x6 this way, and a 1x6 this way, and then put 1x6s up this way, the total stack up will be 2 inches, which will be the same height as we need for that. And you know, we don't need more than 2 foot. I mean, this is a small. You just need to allow the water to flow. We can't impede it. We can't put something here that's going to stop it. We need to let some channel so the water can flow through. So even if we made it just 2 foot long, on top of some cross pieces, and then the rest up to there can all just be regular flats, because this looks like it's the lowest spot in through here where the water from this section needs to flow. All right, let's ponder that. Okay, from this direction. So we need to bring this edge up and this edge up. So that's probably like an 8 foot distance. So we need some 8 foot planks. We're going to lay them this way over that swale so the water can go underneath. And then somehow we're going to need to transition to only 2 foot wide, and then somehow to go around that tree. So maybe we'll need to have a plank that goes from the edge over here all the way over to here where we're going to pick up that trail. So probably a 10 foot plank, a couple 10 foot planks allow transition from our 2 foots to then 10 foots, and then it would transition to I think those are 74, so like 7 foot planks up to the bridge, Swail bridge, and that will allow us to drive this way and come back up on here. Okay, this is just flowing, so we're just going to keep going with it. All right, so that coming down here, and we need the water to flow this way, because that's where it looks like the water's coming from here. We need to go into here and then bring the water this way. So the thought is, between these two stakes, stake, we're going to put maybe like a 1x6 laying flat, a 1x6 flat, or maybe in a 1.5. Well, we don't need a whole lot of clearance underneath, just a place for the water to flow. Then we'll put 1.5 inches thick, like, you know, whatever I cut wide, right? But 2 foot long by 1.5 inches thick, or inch thick, laying on top. And we'll just make this distance here the distance of this. Those are 2 foot 6, so that's probably like about 3 foot. So we'll just make this 3 foot this way, 2 foot this way, and you know, it's going to be about, you know, 2.5 inches high, thick, and underneath will be about an inch and a half clearance. We'll just scrape some of the dirt out to allow the water to flow. So that's what it looks like. And it looks like over here we need to do the same thing, where I put it's hard to see with the sun here. So let me turn around. Yep, so between this stick and this stick, we're going to do the same thing on top of, because that's where the water looks like it wants to flow this way. So we're going to allow the water to flow. And we might even, between these two, just put a little swale to collect water coming from this direction. Water coming this way. It can go through this one, or it can go through the one over there. Okay, after further review, it looks like our boardwalk here is going to create a problem, because this in here looks like it's low. And it looks like water, this is pretty high. I think the water's coming this way and then wants to come at this. So I think we're in between these two stakes. We're going to do the same thing. 3 foot wide, 2 foot long, sitting on top of some 1x6s, laying flat. A little swale underneath allows the water to flow into the main swale, a very shallow swale, but this is the grade that goes down this way. Yep, this is going to take, just going to drag a shovel or a pickaxe or whatever just to make a very shallow swale and allow the water to flow that direction. All right, so the plan would be like this is the 3 foot wide trail coming down here. At this point, the 3 foot wide boardwalk would stop. 3 foot boardwalk would stop, and you can see we laid planks down to this. So that's probably about 10 foot. So here over here we'd put 10 foot planks. Let's back up a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, so the 3 foot, and then we would open up with 10 foot down to where the tree is, which would then narrow to about 8 foot. And I'll even back up all the way. Yeah, so that sounds like it's a doable. So these are probably like 8 foot or so up to the tree, and then it'll spread to 10 foot up to where we're going to meet with the 3 foot wide boardwalk. So that would be our transition, and we'll put a swale. Let me get my bearings here in the sunlight. And we're going to put a gentle swale, just clean out a little bit all the way up there. And that will pick up let the water flow underneath the planks. So it won't impede water flow. Easy to clean if it gets plugged. We just pop up the planks and clean it out. It'll give us some armoring. Put some wood chips on top. That came together pretty nice.